Greetings, slumbering deities. Today, on Merry Meeples, we are looking at Sleeping Gods, Distant Skies. This is the standalone sequel to Sleeping Gods. There's also a small iteration of Sleeping Gods called Sleeping Gods Primeval Peril. You can check that later in the week when we do an unboxing of that. On the back, you've flown into a strange world, but can you survive its perils and find a way back to San Francisco? So a standalone sequel to Sleeping Gods, Return to the Wandering World in 1937. Explore a massive open world in a game atlas of connecting maps, encounter deadly monsters, mysterious characters, lost ruins, and mystical treasures in a storybook filled with multiple choices and endings. Level up your characters over a 15-hour campaign. Cooperative, flexible play, let players jump in or out with ease and stop and save the game at any time. Fight ferocious beasts in a deck-building combat system that rewards good planning. 13 bosses provide an even greater challenge. New wandering encounters. Let all players explore simultaneously. Fly your plane between Atlas pages into distant locations outside of the Atlas. Includes an intro comic book to get you playing fast. Unlock secrets and discover hidden treasures in a world so large it'll take you multiple campaigns to explore. No need to have played the original game. Learn to play with Watch It Played and Rule Pop. Here's your game design and illustration and your writing. 1 to 4 players, 14 and up, 1 to 15 hours. So as you may have noticed, this is still in wrap. Normally I'll have opened a game, read the rules at least, maybe played it so I can kind of explain to you how it plays. But with this being kind of this campaign type of game, I figure let's open it fresh, and that way if I spoil anything, it's inadvertent. Alright, so let's pop open this book. So obviously there will be stuff that I know will probably be spoiling it. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that interior art. Like there's, I believe, a quest deck. Well, I'm not going to be showing you the quest deck, because that would be possibly spoiling it. Especially if they're numbered, I'm definitely not going to be showing you. So you have a deck box to build. Badao, done. This looks like the Atlas. I will flip through the Atlas relatively quickly because, you can easily do this. This shouldn't spoil too much unless there's some big crazy thing at the end. But let's be sincere, more likely y'all are going to flip through it anyways. There we go. Sleeping Gods, Distant Skies, Thunderstorm Isle. This looks like... This is the Thunderstorm Isle expansion storybook. Setup and rules, and then you have some stories. You can start here without reading the rule book. 40 cents. Sleeping Gods Introduction. So, setting up the game. Here is a achievement token sheet. Here is a map. Setting up the game. And then here is that comic book. Tutorial challenges, tutorial combat. And important to get your starting quest cards, actions. Done. So I wonder if that sheet had to do with this. Doesn't look like it. But that is all the components. I don't think I really showed the components and organizing them. Alright. This massive book, I am pretty sure is, this is all of the stories and extra maps. So that is a massive book of spoilage. You have the rule book. That is 32 pages. So let's just try and get through this. There's your component list, basic game concept and turns, turn structures, events, actions, more actions. So the cool thing about this with that rule pop is that it's basically like this little website thing where you can quickly search terms, how to play certain things, how certain things act. They have it for this, and they do have it for the original Sleeping Gods as well. Defeat and difficulty. Here's your campaign. And how to store components. Alright. You have some dice. You have miniatures. Let's get those open. Here's your miniatures. So that guy's got a baseball bat. And then you have this pocket watch thing. And then you have your aeroplane. You have your airplane. Let's see which end goes in where. I'm assuming this goes in the airplane. Am I putting it the wrong way? And then into here. Bet you there's an easier way of doing this when you're not on a camera trying to do it. Maybe I'm just doing it the wrong way. Is that a possibility? Alright, well anyways, there's an airplane and a stand. I'll figure that out later. You have wood bits. You have health tokens and maybe experience or something like that, and little diamonds. You have standees. You have these cool little trackers. I think these are to help track the health of the monsters, possibly. Here's some nice metal coins. A bunch of baggies. A little holder to hold stuff. I'm pretty sure it's probably covered in how to store things. Here is a chest with a ton of cards. So this side is magnetic, the other side isn't. So let's pull out these decks and let's not open them yet. So that's 62, 135, 155. So we're not going to even look at or open those because those are numbered. Adventure Combat, here's Event. So let's open up the Event deck. Alright. So a bunch of events. And let's go through those super quick. And go. There's the events. Alright. Next up we have this other deck that says Adventure Combat on it. Alright, so we have Adventure Combat. And then just Adventure with some numbers. So let's see how many of those numbers there are. There are 61 of those. So that's going to go back in the box. I'm figuring anything numbered is probably stuff you don't want to see. Everything without numbers, I can show you. So here is all of this. This does look like some of the beginning weapons and stuff that they did start off with. So there's those cards. Let's go ahead and lift this up for now and look down here. We have the big journey log. Bunch of the pages of those, and then a map on the back. Then we have a bunch of punch boards, which we'll get to in a minute. We have that bottom. So that looks like your main board, and maybe item tokens. Here are your more item tokens and your status tokens and your people. Ed Lau, Honolulu, Claire Smith, Seattle, Azarius Nell, Lucra City, Jesse Wilder, San Francisco. Miguel Castillo, Havana. And then your flight, there's probably the coins. Active combat deck, combat discard, coinage, there's another little stopwatch, and that token. Alright, so Thunderstorm Isle, use map. So that is the, looks like the expansion deck probably. Now we have another deck, but this looks like it might be numbered as well. So you probably aren't going to see much here either. I believe, you know, let's start with one, because one can't be bad to show. So this looks like these are your monster cards. Monsters. Alrighty, so we have 2 small decks of cards left. Let's get them open. Alrighty. What do we got? We have enemy buffs. And let's get the enemy buffs together. Enemy buffs. If you played, or if you've unboxed Red Raven games before, you'll know that's very common. Just the way that the printing process happens for their games. Alright, so let's see what's on the side of here. So these look like possibly stuff that you will unlock for yourself. Maybe keywords. Maybe skills or something. Alright, now we have the enemy buffs. There are those. One last little deck. I wonder if this is going to be more of those enemy buffs and those other things. We will find out here in a moment. Flipping through the backs. Yep, looks like more enemy buffs. And these other cards. There we go. So what else do we got here? These maybe are powers that you can buy, because maybe with that crystal you'd spend crystals to train yourself, or and then more of the buffs. Alright, so as you saw, there is a lot more in the game I am not showing you, because again, campaign lets you unlock on your own. But I figured you might want to see just what's in the box in general, especially with the minis and whatnot. Alrighty, so until next time, make sure you stay awake.